Hey guys, it's Kelly in California, and I had a neighbor, Manson, who has tons and tons of succulents and cactus, give me some of his beautiful aloes, and I'm going to plant them up today. So let's get going. So the first thing I did this morning was I went and I drilled the holes in the bottom of this. With succulents, you want to make sure that they have really good drainage. They don't like to sit in water at all. So make sure that you have holes in whatever you plant your succulents in, including agaves and aloes, and yeah. So let's get started. I've got my trusty toothbrush and my thicker gloves because these do have sharp edge and you don't want to get cut by them, obviously. I just have some cleanup to do. And the first one, I'm going to go ahead and remove some of the dry bits. Oh, and also I bottom watered these for a couple of hours this morning. I know I said don't let them sit in water, but these needed to be hydrated. And so I bottom watered them in a tray. So let's see if we can shake this guy out. And I won't have any need to really water these in unless I need to get the soil firmed in. So you can see there's little bits of dry. I'm just going to go ahead and remove those. And it's really for aesthetic purposes. It's fine. The plant is fine having the dried on it. It's just visually, it's a lot nicer when it's cleaned up. And for the cobwebs, I use my toothbrush, and I've used this before in videos. I find it just works really well. But I keep this handy in my shed, and it's one of the tools that I use regularly for cleaning plants up. And you know, sometimes with succulents you get soil when you're repotting them, you get soil and stones and that kind of thing. So it works really good for removing that. So I'm just going to go ahead and do some cleanup here, get the cobwebs off, get some more dried pieces off, and then kind of loosen the root system just a little bit. I'll give it the best restart that I can. And these aloes are great. This is the first one I've had of this particular kind of aloe. And I'll put the name up on the screen of what kind it is. But it's a lot different, as you can see from the other ones. It's just a different kind, so the coloring is different, and I really like that pale color. It's really, really different. So thanks, Manson. And then you can use some really thin-tipped shears to get in there and cut off any of the fine bits. Just make sure that you don't poke the plant. Anytime that you puncture a plant, it sets it up for fungus and other kinds of things that you don't want. So just make sure when you're cutting that you don't cut the plant itself. And if any of these are really particularly difficult, I'm not going to bother. Okay, it's looking pretty good. And I'm just going to go in here and remove any of the little tag-alongs, like weeds, things like that. It looks really healthy, actually. The root system looks great. And I really don't think I'm going to have to do a lot. I'm probably not going to water this in. I'm going to give it some time, maybe a week, and then maybe I'll see if the soil's completely dry, and I'll stick my finger way in and do a soil test. If it's really dry, then I can go ahead and just water a little bit, not a lot, just to kind of settle the soil. But it should be good. I might need to take some of this out, actually. And most succulents like to be snug in their containers, so that's a tip for you too. Don't plant in too big of a container. Plant just the right size for it to fit in, just like this. You can see that fits in there nicely and snug, but it still has a little bit more room to grow a little bit. And so it'll be a while before I have to repot this, which is always good. I'm using today a mixture of pumice and cactus succulent soil from E.B Stone. I do use E.B Stone soil quite a bit. I like it, and mixed with the pumice is really nice. So you see, when I go and I pack this around the aloe, and I'll shake it in just a minute. And yes, I always make a mess when I'm doing this. I don't know if there's any clean way to do it, but yeah. So I want to hear from some of you. Have you tried growing aloes and agaves and any other succulents? And are there any tips that you have for replanting them that you stand by? Well, love to hear from you guys. So we're coming upon the 4th of July, and this video will probably be out right before the 4th of July. And if so, I hope everybody has a great 4th of July, and aren't we lucky to live in this country where we're free? I'm just going to give it a good shake to loosen that soil and get it to just kind of shift in place so the roots are all covered. And add some more soil, and then I'll shake some more. Shake, shake, shake. Get it settled really, really well. Get out of there. And you can see there's actually little babies at the base here. And I've shown you before in other videos how to remove those pups. They call them pups. And you can remove those to start new. I'm going to let it settle in before I do any other kind of pup removal, anything like that to the plant. Give it a healthy start, and maybe in a couple months see how it's doing, if it's responding well to repotting, which it should. Aloes are really hardy, like I said. Then I can go ahead at that time and remove the pups. Now, it probably would be easier to remove the pups right now just because you've got access to it. But if you can see, there's tons of pups. There's like, I don't know, probably 10 or 12 pups here that I can remove. I probably won't remove all of them, but they're easy access. They're way up high. You can see that. And so all you need to do, if you haven't watched the videos, you can, but there's other videos on removing the pups and shorts that I did. But you just find where it connects to the mother, put your needle nose cutters in and just snip, and then break it away. And then you want to let it set and let the ends where you cut it dry really good. A couple days, even a week. It's not going to hurt it to stay unattached and not in soil. Once those dried up, you can go ahead and put it in some good potting soil for succulents, such as what I'm using today. Don't be alarmed if at first when you plant the new babies that if they get a little discolored, they will bounce back. That's just a natural, it's a stress. With aloes, with succulents, they go into stress. They go into stress for different reasons, like sun will give them a really brighter red tinge like this. Whereas if they're in the shade, they stay a little bit more like this with the green. And it doesn't hurt them. They're fine if they do go that darker color. So with this, I'm assuming, I've never had one of these before, but I'm assuming it would do the same thing and go darker and when it's in the light, and then go lighter when it's in like a pale green like this when it's in the shade. So we've got this baby all planted up, and I'll just go ahead and do some final cleaning around it to get some of the soil that I've got in the cracks. It won't hurt it, but just to clean it up and visually looks better. So speaking of succulents and cacti, I am planning on filming a video with Manny at Navarro's Mixed Nursery again. If you haven't watched those videos, we have fun together filming and learning about cactus and succulents. Go check those out. We're here in Monterey County in Central Coast, California, where we can grow succulents and cacti, and they really respond well to our climate. And they're smart plants. That's important here because we can go from May clear until the end of October sometimes without rain. So supplementing your annuals and perennials with cacti, with succulents is a great choice. And they're smart plants because they don't take a lot of water. You don't have to water succulents, most succulents, very often at all. And so it's a smart choice when you're trying to conserve water. And really that's our responsibility to do. So I only water my garden twice a week, and the succulents less than that, and the cactus less than that, much less. And that's all they need. Even we have been having some warmer weather here, which we don't get really hot weather, but too hot to film. I would have done this morning, but the sun had already come out and it was really bright and hot. So that's why I'm doing this now in the evening when the fog is rolling in, which it does typically here on the coast. So there you go. There is the new aloe all potted up. And I love these pots that I got. I got these from Manny, and I like that rustic garden kind of look. And I really think I really like it. I don't know about you. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. If this is helpful to you and you enjoyed watching the video, please give us a like, a share, and subscribe. Really appreciate everybody who's joined onto the channel and everybody who's been with me from the very beginning at Garden Discovery. We're constantly learning about plants and about ourselves when we garden, and that's Garden Discovery. Happy 4th of July, and have a great day.